So I was thinking, and we can go whichever direction, of course. I mean, driving and with conversation, but talking about the camp and the leap of faith it is to be able to do something like. So you guys your family bought adventure camp. At Crosswoods Camp up in Mason, Wisconsin.
Yep.
In the Northwoods, in the bear country, in deer country, and in lake country, and tree country.
Yep.
I think we covered them all.
Yeah.
And other kinds of critters.
In the National Forest.
In the National Forest. Maybe I should have just left it at that.
Nicolet National Forest.
Wait, what is it?
The Chequamegon Nicolet National Forest.
Chequamegon.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever knew that name up until now.
I think it's a Native American thing.
Yeah. I don't ever saw the sign somewhere.
It has signs as you're entering into it. Yeah.
And usually when I'm headed up there, I'm like, okay, what do I have to do again?
Right. Beeline
in my
to
own
get
head.
there. Yeah.
I'll be late.
Yeah, that's like us too.
So, so Cheryl, you've been coming to camp for years, as far as like chaperone.
15.
Yeah. And then you've been coming to camp since you were
like sixth grade. Well, I came once when she was the first time she came actually, and I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I was like 7 or something. Yeah. And so I just stayed in a random cabin then. But then I came in like 6th grade until now, and I'm 21 now. So.
Could you have ever imagined, or either one of you, that you would one day like this is ours?
Never.
No.
Never in a million years. Actually, the previous owners said, "Oh, maybe it's your turn," and I laughed, and I was like, "Nope." So.
Wow. So did you have what was like the first moment that you thought, let's think about this? Is this serious? Like, was there like a moment that you felt like that? Maybe it was the Holy Spirit. Maybe it was a bunch of people. Maybe it was us in our office. Like, can you please do this?
No,
not sure.
I think it was the Holy Spirit, but I do think it was because the previous owners said we're done, we're moving on, and we didn't want to see one more faith-based place go away for youth. Yeah. Specifically for youth, because we had seen how many years of kids going up there and really engaging and seeing what a powerful experience it was. And then I thought, it's going to go away. Yeah. And we can't have that. Yep. Because financially, it is not a smart move. And we honestly sold 40 acres of our farm to purchase camp. Wow. And my husband was not on board at all. He was the last one to come on, right?
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. So it wasn't the plan.
No.
Not at all.
How much convincing did you have to do?
A good amount.
Was it a lot?
Yeah.
It was a good amount. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to convince Dad of a normal thing, and then you do that. And you're like,
But see, I do this thing where I'm like, I just know this is the right thing. I just know it. I just have that knowing. Like, that's why I think it's the Holy Spirit, because he just comes in and says, "Yep, this is what you got to do," and then I'm just like, "Okay, I'm ready." And then he's like, "What?"
Yeah.
The previous owner was he was really committed and really wanted it to be a camp still too.
Yeah.
He would have. I think it seemed like he was really wanting us to take it over, and then it would have been quite a loss for him even too.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he put a lot of years into that.
He did. Yeah. And he could have sold it to a lot of different people and made a lot more money.
Yeah.
But he didn't, because he said, I want it to stay what it is. And it was his baby, really.
Yeah.
I mean, 25 years that it took to develop it. And it was a Boy Scout camp way back in the day before that. And his family had owned this camp for many, many years. Yeah. So before that even. And then it was, like, again, Boy Scout camp. And then it became a Christian camp for youth. And the adventures, and you're right. He put a lot into it.
And his kids grew up there, and it was a lot that just happened. So I feel like he was a really good guy, and he liked that a lot. So
yeah, and he's still around. We still send him Christmas cards, and stay in touch and see how he's doing.
Because he's over in Minnesota now, right?
Right.
Somewhere.
Yep.
That's so good.
Actually, in the town that I grew up in.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's an Episcopalian priest, and so he's over there doing his thing at a church over where I grew up. So.
Wow.
Yeah, Yeah, I was like, sorry, I apologize. I'm like, if you run into my big obnoxious
You're
family,
like 42 first cousins.
I do. I have 42 first cousins
42.
in
Wow.
yeah, in White Bear Lake. So that's kind of yeah.
I have 2. That's it.
What
So,
a difference.
42.
Wow.
I know, it's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So then, of course, they're all married, and then they all have children. So I got a lot of relatives.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a good place for a family reunion then.
Yeah.
We had, we
Did you
would
have
every
everyone out?
summer. For a
We've
long
had.
time.
Oh, we
would
didn't.
have a
Not to
picnic.
camp. Not
Oh.
to camp.
No,
But
not
we,
to
for
camp.
years, we've done it, and then I think the C word came along and
Yeah.
kind of messed a lot of
But
things
yeah,
up.
we had it
Oh,
for
yeah.
lots
So-
of years since I was a
That does
kid.
it.
We called it the Perrin picnic because it was that's her last name.
Yeah.
Originally is Perrin.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so we would have, and yeah, you'd go there and it was just like, basically like the circus was in town because there's so many people.
Wall to wall parents.
And I thought you said the parent picnic, like all you kids, like all the parents are
Oh,
getting
no.
together, but you have nothing to do.
No, yeah, Perrin.
No, Perrin. Yeah, Perron. It's French.
Oh, French.
Yeah.
Padron. Do you roll the R?
No.
No.
We're not even cool enough for rolling old.
Well,
You can
it
start.
seems kind of hoity-toity, and we're just not hoity-toity, you know.
You can start. We can rename camp. Padron.
Perrin now.
Padron camp.
No, the CrossFit thing came along with it, and
Yeah.
we're keeping it.
That's a good name though, and everyone
It is.
recognizes it that
Yeah.
I talked to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's where that's where we do
Yeah, it's been that
adventure
way.
camp.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's so nice because you guys have 2 lakes up there, right? And you're on your property.
Well, there's actually 4.
Is there 4?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
but 2 of them are in the on the far end trails, and so you don't usually get to those when you come to camp. But the 2 that we use the most are Black Bear and Line Lake. And
Okay.
Black Bear's where we go, do all the like free time swimming. There's usually lots of like water toys out there. We have a trampoline
Yeah.
right now and the
Yeah.
lily pads. So, and then Line Lake is where we actually do bonfires, praise and worship music, and then do the fishing.
Yep.
It's a really good lake for fishing.
Yep.
I win.
Yeah.
Just ask Brady.
Every year or?
Every year.
Oh wow.
I'm just kidding.
She gets like the smallest fish ever, and none of the rest of us catch anything. So that's how she wins.
So the fish is like
It's
this big,
it's
you
literally
know,
like that big.
and you're like,
the rest of us are just don't have any worms left. So
Do you
by
just bring
default.
one with you, like in a fanny pack, and just pull it
Yeah.
out, throw it in when no one's looking?
actually, it's a lake where if you throw in, you can, dependent on, some things, of course, but in the spring, for sure, you can do a lot of good fishing, and you catch and release. We just catch and release a lot,
Yeah.
but we can catch and release almost every time you throw in.
I think that like the key is
Cool.
not caring if you get
Yeah.
a fish, because if you wait on it, you don't. But then
Yeah.
Mom just throws it in there and it's just like la la la. I'm gonna go and stoke the fire, and then she's just like, oh look.
And
There
then
it is.
there's one.
Like,
So I have to tell you this. See right over there? That's where
Yeah.
that's our
yeah,
farm.
that's our farm.
Oh, right there.
With the
Yeah.
red barns over there.
Yeah.
And all the
Oh,
the
no
silos.
way.
Yeah.
That's our farm.
I just went that way.
Yeah.
I was called to it, I guess. I'm not sure.
Something.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's like the
And that's a
road we
chunk
just
of the
took.
land right out there is that we sold because that was to help buy
Wow.
camp.
Yeah. Yeah, so behind these pine trees is our big blue house.
That is awesome.
But there's a really good ending to that story. Of we had 100 acres. We sold 40 of it to our in-laws.
Oh.
So the eventual plan is that Shelby and Juan will build a house on there someday.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's in the family.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's great.
Isn't that like the
Yeah.
best story ever?
That
Because you're like,
is. It all worked.
Well,
how
yeah.
how do things just work out like that?
they do.
Like
I know.
that says so much about being a Holy Spirit moment and all of that.
It does. Absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where you just like know it's right. Like it's coming together.
Yeah.
You know?
And it may seem like a little detail, but like then you look at the long picture of it, and it's like, well, it's a big detail. Like, wow,
It is. It is.
it's right next door.
Yeah.
That is so good.
Yeah.
Wow.
And of course, then if you go backwards, so Camp brought my oldest daughter's husband. That's where
Yeah.
she met him.
And our other sisters.
And then our
Fiance.
second daughter, they're engaged now, and brought them together. So camp brings many things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually tell kids that when they come, I'm like, just so you know, there's a lot of great, Catholic guys and gals up there.
Right.
that you
Well,
meet,
yeah. And then Shelby and Kayla and you guys are like, don't break the tradition. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, not my fault. Yeah.
Almost sounds like the college my wife and I went to. The thing was, is if you walked with someone, you're gonna get married.
Oh, really?
Like that was it, and it happened. I mean, like, for my wife and I, it was we went cliff jumping, and neither one of us jumped. And we bonded over that.
Oh, sure.
But then I convinced
Only
her.
smart ones.
I did tell her. I said, because at the time I was a lifeguard. I said, you can jump, and I can save you. So don't worry about it. And that was that. So yeah.
You could be the hero, right?
Yeah, I was planning on it. And then some guy came up with a jet ski, and said, "You guys want to ride?" And, yeah, sure. So we were all taking a ride. And then I got on, and my wife was like, "I'll get on with you." And she's like, "Have you ever ridden this before?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I'd never driven a jet ski in my entire life. I had no idea what I was doing. All I knew was I wanted to go fast."
Oh, sure.
So I did.
I love it.
Did that work out?
Yeah, still married. So-
I meant the jet ski.
Oh, the jet ski, yeah.
No crash and burn or anything.
No crash and burn, nothing.
That's good.
So, yeah. Probably my lines in the beginning crashed and burned. But
Sure. Yeah.
I'm a lifeguard. I can save you. I'm not quite sure how that worked.
You haven't
But- or I recovered from it. I'm not sure.
I was gonna say, you haven't asked her about that one yet.
No, some things I've said I want to just put behind me, like oh, those cringe moments.
That's true in life.
Oh, did I really say that? I didn't really say that. But so with like camp, I was thinking, what if you had could you get like a scuba dive team, like camp, and they can come and like you find it, you keep it, and scuba dive the lakes? Because I bet there's some great stuff out there.
You know what?
Phones and sunglasses,
Oh, yeah.
wallets,
Many pairs of
watches.
So many glasses.
Yeah.
I find my old
Probably.
radio.
You find it, you keep it, camp.
Yeah.
We could. Never thought about
That'd be
doing that.
something.
Yeah.
I always wondered, I was like, if we dredge that lake
Oh my gosh,
how much
28
stuff we're
years
going-
worth of stuff.
of stuff, yeah.
Do you know, I'm not sure why, but this makes me think of our outdoor, pit toilets.
Oh yeah.
And we had the guy come in and suck those out in the last couple of years.
Oh,
And they showed us everything that was in those.
really? Oh.
There was tons of junk people throw in the pit toilets.
Yeah, and you're
Really?
like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, and you're like, what the?
So they're like,
What?
they're sucking out the thing and it's clogging up their hose over and over and over.
Which we felt bad about because we're like, sorry, we
But
didn't know.
that was from 25 years
oh yeah.
of, it wasn't
long
us,
time.
So people shouldn't throw things in the pit toilets.
No.
But they did, apparently. They
No.
said, put this out all over the lawn, and they're like, look. And I'm like, I don't need to see it.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Keep it.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Then the lunch bell rings.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I don't get it, but
But was it right after you guys bought camp is when the flood happened? Was it like
No,
or was it
that was
right
before.
before?
the
Right
year
before.
It was the year before,
Yeah.
and then all that happened.
Yep.
Because you had the
Yeah.
flooding that washed out the roads
Yep.
to camp.
Yeah.
And we actually were up there when that happened.
Yeah, we were.
Because we were halfway up there when that happened.
Well, yeah, because the power went out, and then I just
Everything.
remember the power went out, so we hadn't gotten to take a shower in a couple days, but it was raining so hard, and and it was really warm, and so we all got on our swimsuits and grabbed our shampoo and went out beneath where the roofs were.
Oh,
where it was
that's a great
gathering,
idea.
and we're like, all right, so we would so we all showered outside there and with our
Yeah.
swimsuits on, and then
Oh,
we were running
wow.
around. And
So
That's
actually,
good.
see, the week before, they didn't have any socks. So servants of God
Well,
to
Yeah.
it was
volunteer.
me.
So
I was the
Bethany
only
and I
one
went
that-
up and worked that week.
Yeah.
Before, that's why we were up there.
Yeah, and I was
So
up
we
there
actually-
because I was the only SOG that came.
Yeah. So we were just leaving,
Yeah.
and she was coming.
Oh.
And so we were up there, literally sleeping
Yeah.
at night, listening to all these buckets of rain come down, thinking,
Yeah.
oh boy,
Yeah.
it was a mess.
And you guys literally lost a lake at one point, didn't you?
We
Didn't the
did.
wall
It
bust
blew out, yeah. Yeah, and they rebuilt the dam, and
Yeah.
between the two
Well,
lakes,
we-
between Black Bear and Line Lake.
And
Yeah.
because Black Bear, that's how so Line Lake Beach, that little sandy area we go down to, that was non-existent.
Oh yeah.
And so then that's what created that was the flood. And so when we were when that happened, we're it took took all of our kayaks and stuff too, and it took like so much crap in the woods. So we're like running through the woods, you know,
Yep.
fishing kayaks. I felt like what's that one movie called? Swiss Family Robinson.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
felt like that when they were like in the Amazon trekking through, because it was like water up to your shoulders and you're trying to heave a kayak.
That, I can't imagine that. I can't imagine losing a lake.
No.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was, so then it had to be dammed up and then allow it to come back up again.
Yeah.
You know, and so that took some
Yeah.
time too.
That, oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
But like, I mean, the first 20 feet of the lake surrounding the diameter was mud,
Right.
just pure
Just
mud,
mud.
It just
like up
went
to your
down.
thigh. And so, trying to get in and out of the lake, you're like, well, better wear something crappy. So.
And really, that part
Took time.
terrifies me. Like, I mentally flip out if my feet go into that with all the grass and the mud is.
Oh, really?
And like I can't do it. Like, I
That's funny.
lose it on the inside. Like, I'm like, I will get into that kayak if no one's gonna flip me right here. If I can get out to where the water is and there's nothing like touching my legs that I
Yeah.
can't see,
That's
like, I don't know. It gets in my head, and I get like if a fish swims by and
Yeah.
brushes
That
you,
is
and
so funny.
that's
Creeps you out.
yeah.
That's funny.
I almost like a cartoon character, like walking on water, running
It's
out.
kind of a fun game almost, you know. You stuck your like leg in the mud and you're like, all right, what am I gonna feel this time?
Oh.
You kept going.
I don't know what it is. I don't know.
do that.
I don't know why. It's like I've
Count
always,
me out, right?
yeah. Like I want to be able to see everything,
Yeah.
That's fair.
Oh yeah.
but I'm good at the beach. Like if I can't see the bottom of the beach, I'm okay there.
Yeah.
But there's much more stuff that can get you there. That's what I don't understand about all
It's
this.
true. Yeah, the slugs and the snails, and I've actually had a leech on my leg.
Did you
Oh,
really?
really?
Yeah, a couple of years ago. We played that Bring Me,
Yeah.
and so it
The
was
song game?
myself and Father Olson and maybe Sarge and another adult. And we were running down to the lake to try and find a slug.
Really? Did you find it?
No.
Oh.
Well, eventually we did, but it wasn't in the lake. It was like stuck to the back of a leaf or something, you know.
Oh.
But, you know,
That's a
knows?
good one.
yeah.
That's a
That
good
is a
one.
good one.
Yeah.
And you guys have friendly raccoons who like to come around and hang out. Porcupines.
Porcupines.
Actually.
Porcupines, that's right.
We would
Porcupines
welcome
like to chew,
raccoons, but
yeah.
porcupines like to chew things.
They like to chew on our cabins.
Yeah.
They think it's a tasty treat.
They're
So,
like attracted to the wood that we have, but the wood like
T111.
yeah.
They like that.
But it's funny because it
really?
has arsenic in it, so when they eat it, they're slowly poisoning themselves. But
They don't
not
know
fast
it.
enough.
Yeah, you're like, bad idea,
I
guys.
know.
It's like basically eating at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Poisoning yourself.
Yeah, you're just slowly killing yourself.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
Sorry,
We should try
McDonald's.
that.
That's right.
Sorry, Ron.
That's true.
It is. So what?
And there was, I have to tell you this, there was a family of them. So they ended up naming them after the Van Trapp family
Oh yeah.
on The Sound of Music.
Oh,
Liesel.
yeah.
So Liesel and who are all the girls and boys? Greta,
Oh, shoot.
Brigitte.
Brigitte,
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
They named him after all of those guys because
I
there was a
forgot all their
whole
names.
family.
Right. That's good. That's
Isn't that
good.
funny?
You could train them to like sing the good night. You know, as they're going.
Edelweiss.
Edelweiss, yeah.
Unfortunately, we really don't want them around, so
Yeah.
we try to have them leave.
You guys have never been stuck by one, have you?
No, but our
No.
dog has gone up before and got a
in the
little nose full of us.
Oh,
Yeah.
those are they don't just come out.
No, they're
No, you need a needle nose plier.
Oh, did you guys have to do it yourself?
Oh yeah, yank them out of her little
Yeah,
nose.
sorry, vet bills are expensive.
Yeah.
And we're out on the farm. There's a lot of stuff
Well,
we do.
Let me say
Yeah,
this:
yeah,
at camp,
yeah.
you learn how to do everything.
Yeah.
It is you are a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
That's because you guys kind of redid or rebuilt your house out there,
Oh, yeah.
right? I mean,
Willow.
Yeah,
Willow
we did
lodge.
Yeah.
we did the siding and insulation and all that on
Because I saw the pictures on Facebook.
it. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
Do
we
they
had
know how to
actually-
do that? This is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, when
Well,
they
we
get
had
them-
redone
No,
it.
we're just like we can do it.
We had just redone our house though a few years before.
Yeah.
So that was
Well,
kinda nice
that's
to
true.
count.
We have re-sided and re-insulated our house a couple times, so we did have experience.
Wow.
So then we were like, Todd, the staff were just like, we're doing it, and they said, okay, and we, yeah, it's good.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what the interesting thing about that was, it was really a kind of team bonding, building experience to have the whole summer staff come together for a week of just working together in that sort of a way.
Oh, that's good.
So we decided
It's like
from
a
now
team
on,
building.
yeah, we were like, let's do this. You know, so we pay them, of course, but then
Right.
they're helping, and we it's a different kind of bonding. So
And a different kind of work.
So do you use a lot of YouTube videos to, or do you just know how to do it? Because that's how I do is YouTube.
yeah, sometimes, but mostly we knew how to do this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or else we've had friends that have come over and helped us with, like, sometimes with electrical things that we're like, we're not really sure about this,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
plumbing things, or
Well,
Yeah.
and a few of the staff too, especially this last summer, a few of them like had for years like literally remodeled houses, and then other ones had like their summer job for years had been like digging like lines for like, you know, electric and water and gas and whatever. So
Wow.
you know, you kind of used your people too. They
Right.
knew their stuff, so
Yeah.
that was kind of nice too.
That's good. That's really good.
yeah.
And then you have me, and I pulled nails a lot.
That's something though.
I got a really good wrist strength now.
Yeah. You keep doing it, you get like a Popeye
I'm gonna
arm.
be
Like that
buff.
forearm will just
Yeah.
be giant.
Oh, that's the creamery, by the way, just so you know. That big brick
Oh.
building.
Right there,
With
yeah.
tour
That's
there.
awesome.
See, Ellsworth Co-op
I should
Creamery.
go in there and get some before I leave.
You should.
There's
They do have a
My
little
family would be
store.
very happy with me.
So right there,
Yeah, there's
right
a
that
store.
door,
yeah.
that's the green letters above.
Yeah.
You go right in there, you can buy like
There's a store.
lots of cheese.
Really.
There's like pizzas that they make that are really
Oh,
good,
yeah.
and there's cheese curds, and there's
Yeah.
they sell beer, but
You
and
would
then
be-
there's,
you would be
sh-
well,
like
like-
I have a
milkshakes.
2-hour drive home though, and I don't know what's gonna make it.
Just put it way back in the back.
Yeah.
I'll find it. Just got cruise control. I'm just like, there's a straightaway. I can make it back in time.
Oh, that would
But
be.
yeah, they have good stuff in there. Their ice cream is so good.
Oh gosh, I
Really
should
creamy.
really
The
stop.
creamery,
Yeah,
yeah,
you should definitely stop.
it's a definite
They'll be
must.
happy with me. Maybe.
Yeah, your family will like you.
They'll like me. They'll like me today. So I was gonna go back. So what is both of yours? What is your best memory at camp? Well, one of your best. I'm sure there's plenty. But what are your best memories at camp?
I don't know. I have like different ones from different summers. I think it's hard to like compare the summers.
Oh yeah.
So like, I mean, when I was a SOG, I think one of my favorite memories was just like bonding with the other SOGs in the kitchen. And I just remember this one day, and we're actually on the SOG flyer that we give out.
Oh yeah.
That's me with my SOGs that summer.
Wow.
And that specific picture was actually my favorite memory from that summer, because we had like a bubble war, and there's so much bubbles from all the dishes that we were doing that we were just like smacking it on each other and like throwing it, in our
That's
faces.
great.
And
Yeah.
and we would like, I mean, this probably isn't a good thing to do, but we would like put spaghetti sauce on each other and like, just
Yeah.
like, we would just do dumb stuff like that. But that was like literally that picture that they have for the SOG flyers, like my favorite one from that summer anyway.
I think I would be a terrible SOG because I would get into so much trouble with that. That stuff. But I worked
You
in a
have to
kitchen
do
one time
some
at
of
a
that.
camp, and we served pancakes one morning, and all the pancakes that are left over, they basically rubberize. And so I was whipping pancakes at people in the kitchen because they would fly like frisbees, and but they didn't break when they hit you, so it hurt. So we had a whole pancake war.
That's awesome.
But I think you know what? I
That's
think I've
good.
thrown them out at camp, at your camp
Yeah.
before too.
Yep.
As
Oh,
well.
yeah, that
not
too.
as hard though.
Yeah, you're right,
They're
because
hurting.
they do get rubbery.
They get
do,
rubbery and they
yeah.
fly really well.
That's frightening, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
what is that?
Yeah, they
makes them
fly
rubbery?
really, really well.
That and just like, I think this last year was probably staff training. I thought I bonded really fast with some of the staff. Like, I don't know if I'm allowed to name names, but I did. I bonded really fast with some. I just didn't know if it's allowed on here or not.
Oh, Nate, yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah,
like
you can
there's
talk
like
about
Ben
anybody.
Schmidt.
Drop
I
a
bonded
name.
really fast with
Name
him.
drop all
He
you
and I-
want.
With who was that?
Ben Schmidt.
Yep.
I bonded
yeah.
really fast with him. He and I became really good friends really fast. And then there was Cameron. She and I became really good
Yeah.
friends really fast. And we had kind of been friends before, but it was just nice to, kind of hunker down with her.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good word for it.
That's a great word, hunker down. We used to use that on mission trips all the time. You gotta
Yeah.
hunker down, and
Yeah.
it describes it perfectly. Like you just
Yeah.
get in there and like, And that, I mean, like, we kind of talked about that related to like faith as well. You got to hunker down on your faith. Like, you can't just be like on the surface. You got to dig into there. And so, love hunker down.
And it was really nice too because like it was nice being around a group of, especially like the people I mentioned. But then there's like Erin too. She was really good. But like being around that group of people that's really solid in their faith, and not only just their faith but their Catholic faith. Because we did have an all Catholic staff this last year, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And I think that when you're out in the normal material world, it's really easy to separate from that.
Yeah.
Especially, like I'm going to college, so it's hard to keep like God as an aspect in your life. And it was interesting because I felt like I kind of had a fallout with God like the months leading up to camp, but then literally within like the first like 3 days that I was there with these people, it was like a snapback, which was like so cool.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I will tell you that, and I don't know if this was your experience or not, but I have found over the years of doing this, anytime we're going to do something big, the devil gets in the way. Like I know, like Pat Briggan and I used to say, like before the immersion retreat, like the week before, like this is going to be a bad week because we knew be under attack, and he's going to derail everything he can.
Yeah.
And so I wonder how similar your story is to even other staff members, if they had like a bad month, a bad week beforehand, like trying to derail you before you get there even.
Yeah.
Because I found that, and every time I do something, I'm like, something's going to go bad, just be ready. And I'll even say like to the devil, like, I know who you are. Like, you're not going to do this to me. Like, you got to go away now. And I don't know if you can look back on that and see like, oh yeah, like I can see he was kind of picking at me, or this kind of happened.
I think so, especially probably in like the month or so before, just because like I was end of the semester and getting ready, and like and my college friends, they're very nice and very good to me, but they don't have that aspect of their life that they find important or that they prioritize. So especially when you're surrounded like by people like that all the time, and even if they're really good people like my friends are, it's hard,
Right,
you're
that's
kind of
a good
outlier.
point. Because that's what you hear, especially a lot of young adults and high school students talk about, is that, why do I have to go to church? Like, I just pray at home or whatever. But to hear you talk about it, that community of people is so vital to not only lift us up, but to walk with us, for us to walk with them, that feeding off of each other, learning from each other. And we need that interaction with people. And some people, I think, get to like, oh, just pray at home. Or look at how many people after the C word, COVID happened, haven't come back to church. They're like, well, I just watch it at home. But you're missing the community aspect of it. You're missing that where we're really feeding each other that way.
Well, and I think, for me anyway, it probably wasn't until like this last summer that I really decided to prioritize my faith. And I feel like everyone has to hit that point. So in a way, it makes sense when you have so many people that are in middle school or high school or whatever, and then they're like, well, why do I have to go to church? But once you hit that point where you prioritize it, it's not a question of why anymore.
Yeah, you kind of, I think everyone finds that at some point, hopefully in their life, finds that this ain't working moment. And it's like, why is it not working? Oh, because I'm completely separated from my faith, or it's just like, I'm just kind of flipping about it or whatever. And we have that this ain't working moment. And sometimes we have several. And
you're trying to fill in to find happiness in things that don't really last or matter.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you keep thinking, well, this next great thing will be it.
This is it.
And then the next thing, and then that's not it either. And you're like frustrated.
When things are going good, you tend to credit it towards yourself. I feel like, and then once things go bad, then you have to be, I don't know, you don't rely on God until things go bad, I feel like a lot of times. And then once they do, you're like, oh crap, that's right.
I got it. Oh,
like, I'm not the one in control.
It's like a wake up thing.
Yeah, it's like hitting yourself in the head again,
Yep. It's like, oh, and you have those moments where you've already been through that, you've already realized that, and then you fall back into it, and it's like, oh, I've done this before. Like, what am I doing? Like, I already know what the outcome is here. This is not going to work. And I know that I think many people, and I'm guilty as well, use God like Aladdin, like the genie from Aladdin.
like a vending
I will
machine.
call on you when I need you.
Like a vending machine.
Yeah, you come when I need you, and you fix everything, and then I will send you away, and
Yeah,
I will go
right.
back.
Exactly.
Yeah, or
doing
put some
my
prayers in, and you push the button, and then there should be
Yeah,
the answer I want
yeah,
come out.
yeah. Because that's what other thing you hear is people like, well, I prayed for this, and it didn't happen the way I prayed for it, so prayer doesn't work. I'm like, well, that's not. It's not a wish list.
But it is hard to change from give me this to let me accept what will happen.
Yeah.
Help me to be strong and get through whatever is going to be.
Right.
That's a big switch.
It is.
And
It
that's
is.
hard to do.
And it's really easy, like when things are going well, to say it, and then when if I say it like in a talk or whatever, if I say it out somewhere, and then I go through something, I'm like, you just talked about this to that group. Does it apply to you? No. No. I need to be immune from all this stuff.
Right.
No,
Well,
that's
okay,
not how
so
it works.
this perfectly fits when you're talking about the C word, okay, COVID.
Yes.
And so we buy camp in 2019,
Yes.
and a year later, had a great summer. A year later, the C word hits.
Yes.
And so people ask us, well, how did that go? And we're like, well, that was not expected. We're like, what can happen? There's not gonna, there wouldn't be a pandemic. We wouldn't close camp down. Well, here we are, a year later. And we did have a couple small groups that came because they were okay with coming.
Yeah.
But that was a big leap of faith.
Yes. Yeah.
Where you have to put your money where your mouth is?
Right, right.
So you're like, okay. And so people say that, and I say, I actually think that was a really good experience for our family
Yeah.
and our team to be like, hey, you have to walk the walk.
Yeah.
Okay? So like if we're saying we have faith that God will take care of us, but we don't want to suffer at all by having like no income for basically for a year.
Right.
Well, you can get through it,
Right.
So we're like, okay, God, you got to help us out. How are we going to get through this?
But was there a moment where you're like, look, like, what are you doing, God? Like, what is this? Like, this, no. You called us to this, and then this happens, like,
right.
Really?
I think he did it because I think that he might have, and not anything against the previous owners at all, but I think that because he saw our family and said, okay, you can handle this one.
Yes.
And that might not have been something that he would have been able to put on the owner.
Yeah.
Or say someone else who had bought it.
Yeah.
Well, and from my view, I even think that God isn't the one who creates these things, like pandemics, who knows who created this one, right? Who knows? But the issue is that he's always there to help us get through whatever. So then I say, okay, well, I don't know how we're going to get through this one, but here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were led and given steps, and things happened that allowed us to be able to pay the mortgage. Because I'll be honest, it's a big fat mortgage,
Yeah.
And so you're like, how do we make that monthly payment and with no income coming in?
Yeah.
But we had to do it, and I honestly now I look back and think, how did we do that?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, what happened? How did we do that?
It's like, it's beyond reason that worked out.
It is.
In a way.
Completely, because we were freaking out when we bought, thinking, are we going to be able to, will this place pay for itself? That's all we want.
Yeah.
Just, you can, if we can bring in enough people and do what our mission is, if the place can just sustain itself, great, that's what we want.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, you're right, then be like, what the heck? We got no income, and so I don't really remember the details of how it worked, but I think we had to give it over and say, okay, lead us to where we can keep going forward, because again, it's another thing where the devil's after you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trying to take it away, trying to say, nope, this place is going to go away again within just a couple of years, and then it didn't happen.
Yeah, and I think the devil kind of maybe doesn't make COVID happen, but feeds into your mindset of doubt and questioning, and then it's like a sore, it's like a wound. It's like picks at that and opens it up more, opens it, and tries to get in there that way.
Right. I think the other thing that's pretty good or cool is that you can also have the Holy Spirit get in you all the time, and that's one of those things where I have always this sense of I don't look back.
Yeah.
We're going forward.
Yeah.
And no regrets.
Yep.
Like, hey, we're doing this for what He wants us to do, for His goodness, for His glory, and if we just keep moving forward and we do the best we can with each decision we make, the next one, that's the best we can do. That's what I think He wants from us.
Yeah.
That's what we keep trying to do at camp. That's what I keep trying to do as the director, being like, let's just make the next good decision.
Yeah.
The best one we can.
Yeah.
And then it'll lead to another good decision.
Right.
And another good decision.
Because sometimes we get wrapped up in, we have to fix all of it right now to move everything forward.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just little steps at a time.
Or we would look at, this is, the goal. And actually sometimes Dad will say that. My husband will say, well, what's your goal? And I look at him and I think,
to make it to tomorrow.
well, no, I kind of have like a vision, but I don't know if that's really where we're going to get, because who knows what's going to happen in life.
Right.
Let's just make the next good decision.
Right.
And through a lot of prayer, though, like, and watching, I do a lot of watching the signs and what is God calling, what's He saying, people around, like you guys are talking about community.
Yeah.
Like, what's the community around you? Are they, what are they talking about? How are they helping? How can I be there for them? How are they there for me? And helping us see God within ourselves.
Yes.
Within one another, and
Have you found that you've used this leap of faith of buying the camp as kind of a go-to thing? Like something else comes up in life and it's like, all right, we did a leap of faith before. We did it. We can do it again.
Mm-hmm.
We can do it again. And,
for sure. Well, let me say this. So let me go back many years when Shelby was born. Now, I'm a nurse practitioner now, and I'd see patients before she was born, and this man walked in, and he had a heart transplant. And I looked at him and talked to him and, did his medicine and all this stuff, and then he left, and I thought, he is a miracle walking around. This man who had to have a heart transplant. And then Shelby was born years later, and here we are. She has, born with a heart that wasn't working good and had to have a heart transplant. And so that was the call and the leap of faith. Because truly, I remember saying, it's in your hands. I'm here. We're making the next best decision we can.
Yeah.
But I don't know where this is going to end.
Yeah.
And I think the more you do that, then, so for me, that was my first big one.
Yeah.
And then you go, well, we've been there before.
Yeah.
Where things are on the brink of who knows and scary and really big.
Yeah.
And then you go, well, gosh, we've been there before.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can do this.
Right.
And then maybe it gets easier.
Right. You can get used to seeing God in the moment.
Yeah. Well, and the more He helps you get through things, because there was truly moments when we were like, so I really distinctly remember the morning that they said that there was a heart for Shelby, and that the nurse, they came in and they said, oh, it's, we have a heart. And I was like, here we are, it's go time,
So she had a complete heart transplant.
Yeah.
Oh my
she
goodness.
did when
I don't think I realized that.
She's 2 months old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So and I remember the nurse looking at me. They were taking her in for surgery, and I just had to go, okay, let her go. And that nurse said, we will take care of her. And I just had it was just filled with, I have faith that this is, where we're supposed to be and what's supposed to happen. So at least for me, that I have to have that same, okay, here we are. It's that same thing.
Yeah.
I got that leap of faith, but it's also just a knowing.
Yeah.
That happens, and that's how I felt about camp. I just know this is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I just know it. And I don't even know why, because there was no sense in it. It was crazy. We did not have the money to buy this place. It was going to happen really fast. Like, as in, we were like, we have to either take on and buy this camp in a few months and get it up and running and keep the same groups coming this summer, or we can't do it. So it was a time pressure too.
Yeah. There was
no, we can't have a summer in between.
No.
Where the groups go somewhere else. We can't do it.
No.
We had to make it happen. So yeah, so it was a big leap, and just that God made us get through it all. The steps happened, and sometimes ugly, and you know.
Sure. Yeah. But it's one thing to like, okay, we're gonna take the leap of faith to buy the camp, but then is it another thing to, because this is where my head would go for me. If I figured all that out, then am I even qualified to run the camp? Because
Right.
I say that because I think there's so many people in our parishes and just our community who think I have nothing to offer. It's like,
Right.
man, you have so much to offer,
Right.
and we think of ourselves. We don't think as highly of ourselves as I think we should give ourselves more credit. I think is what I'm trying to say,
Right,
basically. And so was that like another wave that comes on? Like, okay, we can do this,
Right.
but
You don't
wait,
know what we're doing.
I didn't go to. There's no like run a camp school. You know? I mean, we have clown schools, but we don't have run a camp school
Right.
or anything like that.
Oh, for sure.
So it's like there's no book,
No.
to say this is how you do it.
No. No, I think the only thing, I mean, things that helped that too, for sure. You go like, I don't know how to do this, but knowing we had some people in place, like, you know, the girls had gone to camp for many years and had been staff before we purchased.
Yeah.
I had been going there for a good 10 years
Yeah.
before we did, and so I kind of knew the place, not how to
Yeah.
run it, but knew the place.
Mhm. Yeah.
And we have various people around. One of the camp owners, one of the family members, helped us to learn how to do things for the next few years,
Yeah.
and was really around and integral to teaching us and helping us learn. And the previous owners were like, hey, yeah, you can talk to us anytime. You know,
So you weren't just left to your own devices and good luck.
No.
Sink or swim.
no, we
That's
weren't.
good.
We weren't. And actually, honestly, I got to say, the groups that come, you know, like La Crosse, Superior, Messiah from the Twin Cities, have been coming so many years that they're kind of like, we know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
We know how camp runs and
Right.
what to. So you guys just got to kind of catch up to us a little
Right.
bit. And then things change a little too. You make decisions to change a few things, leave some stuff, and then change some things. So, but I think that again, maybe it's community, huh?
Right.
That helped us to
Right.
learn how to do it as one great big faith community.
Right. Which comes right back to all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they won't let us sink.
Right.
Because everybody's got like a vested interest in making it continue.
Right.
I mean, we've just had some of those great people that have come out of this as well, like, you know, great priests. Father Aaron Becker is you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I knew him all the way through seminary.
Yep.
And, you know, we used to like laugh and think of him as the little ox because he always took everybody and ran with you and
Yep.
got in the water. And, you know, like when we were out kayaking down the Brule and he dunked everybody.
Yep.
And I remember laughing, talking in front of church one day saying that, you know, holy people, they're not that holy when they get in the water.
Right.
And people laughed, and I was
Right.
like, I'm not kidding.
Right. Right. They
The
will take you
sisters,
out.
they can take you
The
out.
sisters would like specifically wait at the end of the river at
That
the
was-
at the takeout.
That was our thing.
Yeah,
Sister
they
Mary
would
David and I
wait.
would take off at lunch and
Right.
put our kayaks
They'd
up
be
and then
like,
walk back
we'll
down
help
and
you
like
get up and stuff, and then they flip you, and you're
we're
like,
just
what the
flipping
mother of-
everybody. Yeah, we're just flipping everyone in, everybody in. Well, you have we have Deacon Jared Clements, soon to be
Right.
Father Jared Clements in a few months.
Right.
Who's been
Yeah.
coming since he was probably in middle school.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
You know,
for years and
so-
years.
Yeah.
And then Isaac Pekka,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
is
Yep.
getting ordained. And we've had so many holy marriages. Actually, so the first year that we purchased, a wedding happened the day that we purchased. We closed on the
Really?
place. And then, so it was Brooke and Zechariah Kinshaber.
yeah,
And they
yeah.
had their wedding at camp that weekend.
That is
Yeah.
great.
And then they were kind enough, so we had worked out this deal where they used camp as their reception, and
Oh, yeah.
then they came and worked for us for the summer as staff, as a married couple. So
That's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right.
yeah,
That's right. Yeah, so much has happened. We have
Yeah.
that camp, just for our diocese alone, has so much history with people, with relationships, with
right. Yeah, meeting so many people.
vocations.
You know,
Yeah.
you asked earlier about what's a memory or
Oh, yeah.
a moment or things, and I remember that's one of the things, and it's not exactly one time, but feeling in camp that I was immersed in a place of people with such faith that I just felt like at home.
Yeah.
And that we'd leave camp on a Jesus high. We always call it, the Jesus high.
Yeah.
Feeling like, I hope I can get this again before next summer.
Yeah.
And kind of knowing I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And honestly, one of our daughters would come home every summer bawling the whole way home. She would just be sobbing on the bus on the way home because she just loved that so much that when we left, she was just like, it's gonna be a year before I can come back and have this again.
Yeah.
So that feeling and that just like you belong here,
right,
is the feeling,
right,
and just that knowing of God being around and being so present.
Right.
And then the other time, and if you talk to any of the people, a couple of years ago we came up and I was like, oh no, we only have like 40 people coming up, like 30, 40 people coming up to camp and for our week. And I was kind of worried about it. And then we ended up coming up and it was the best week of camp ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Because we all bonded. We were one big team of adults running the week. The kids had the best time. We got so close.
Yeah.
It was just maybe more intimate.
Yeah.
But that is a favorite memory of mine. And I've been going to camp for, like I said, like 15 years now. And I still think that was the best week because the Holy Spirit was there for sure all week.
Yeah.
But within every one of us, I think, too.
And it says a lot because it's not about numbers. And sometimes I get wrapped up in numbers.
Wow.
It's got to be this, got to be this.
Right.
We're not doing a good job because nope. And that's kind of what I look at, like that whole airline pilot analogy thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that they when there's like a mayday and they're radioing to the tower says how many souls are on board. They don't say how many people are on board. They say how many souls are on board, and meaning how many pilots, how many flight attendants, how many passengers. It's all of it. So it has nothing to do with your gender, your religion. It has nothing to do with how tall you are, how rich you are, or anything. It's just how many souls are on board. And so when I read that, and I thought, that's how I need to be looking at everything that we do in ministry. Is I'm not looking at a group of people, I'm looking at a group of souls. And if I'm running the event, or this is under my office's responsibility, it's like I am responsible for these souls right now, to lead them closer to God. And when you start seeing people as a soul and not just it's just a body, a person, the responsibility that you have with that individual person, it increases your awareness of what we're doing. Exactly. And so if I look out and I see 50 souls where we could have had 90, I have 50 souls, and that's a lot to do. And so and I can only imagine a priest looking out at a congregation, like they are responsible for those souls. Those are and so I think when we look at people that way, not as people but as souls, you see the whole person, with everything that God created them to be, the things that we can't even see.
So like even in youth ministry, how you said it's always like the numbers, but if you have like one kid show up, it's one soul.
It's one soul, and that's huge.
That you've been given I
have the privilege to connect with that soul for however long. If it's an hour, if it's if they're in my group, and I get to see them multiple times or whatever. It's a privilege. If it's one shot with someone, I have a privilege of having that one moment with them. Sometimes it comes back and you have other moments. I have people that I've met over the years that are now adults, and it'll be like, hey, let's go get coffee and sit and just reconnect, and it's amazing to be able to go back to that.
Talk about remember that time when
what are they doing now? And then people will remember the stuff that you all were able to accomplish together. And I try not to even look at it like as in ministry, like it's me doing this for you. It's us doing this together.
Yep.
And I am learning from you. Hopefully, you're learning from me.
Well, and never knowing really your impact upon one another.
Yeah, and I try. I used to worry about that. I used to worry about, did I impact? Did I do this? Did I do that? And I was like, I get in my own head about it. And I thought, did you pray beforehand? Yes. Did you pray during this time? Yes. Did you trust the Holy Spirit's working through you? Yes. If I can answer yes to those, then whatever.
Yeah. You've done what you were supposed to.
I've done what I'm supposed to do, and then if I'm trying to control it, then I'm not letting the Holy Spirit work through me.
Right.
I'm doing this.
Right.
And so, like I've heard people over the years, and not the Catholic Church, but people like, I brought this person to Jesus. I saved this soul. I did this. Like, no, you didn't do anything.
You're like,
maybe it's better you allowed the Holy Spirit to work through you, and something happened there, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
But I think the danger is that when we start getting into ourselves of, did I do this? Did I do that? Then it's easy to flip it like, I did this, I did that.
Right.
And it's like, this is not about me. I'm just trying to be a vessel and be open to what I'm supposed to do.
I think you're right. Like, so at camp, it's like setting up the environment and the place in order to potentially have that kind of a, experience.
Yeah.
But that's all we're doing. We're just like, here we are. We'll get the things ready and try to make, a good place for that to happen. But it's not up to us.
Right. And I think the amazing thing is when you see the young people, the campers out there connecting with the staff, that you can really tell a lot of times they're not connecting with the staff because that person's so cool. It's they see something in that person that is like they can't explain, and like, how do I get that? Like that, I want that.
Right.
And I think when it's that you can see it's a different kind of a connection with them.
Right.
And so whatever you guys are doing to train the staff to be able to put that out there and not like, come to me, like I'm awesome or whatever.
Well,
you never get that feeling. And I always think of us as ministry as like the analogy I always use of we're third base coaches.
Yeah.
Like we're directing you to come this way, but you're not going to score here. I'm just waving you on to home.
Right.
This is, if you end here, you've missed like the entire picture.
Right.
And so.
Well, I think the most genuinely faithful staff that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Like this year while we're interviewing and talking to staff, the ones that we're both, like we get done with the interview and then Shelby and I are like, yep. Or, I don't know. Because you see that in them, that they're so devout and so interested in their faith that you're like, okay, yep, no question.
Right.
That's one.
Right.
Let's offer.
And they're not answering the questions just the right way.
No.
They're answering it because this is how I live, and you can take it or leave it.
Right.
And this is what we want.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
We will take it.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes all the difference.
Yeah. So on your farm, what animals do you have? I know you said you had cats.
We don't really have.
A rabbit?
Yeah, a rabbit, some hawks. Steve's a falconer.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So oh wow.
So we own like red tails and
so he does that.
And what is so I guess what comes to mind with the falconer is all I can think of is the bird and the nice leather glove. Like So but what does he do? Like what does a falconer do?
He goes hunting.
Go hunting with them.
So
you hunt with them?
Yeah, so he takes them out because they would normally catch like rabbits or squirrels on their own, but because he trains them to come to him and respond to him, and come back to his fist and stuff, and he has like a tracker on him and stuff, he goes hunting with them, and it's kind of fun because we scare up the rabbits, and then you kind of fly the bird to go and we have a code word. We're like ho 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 when we say that, and the bird knows to go grab the rabbit. Then it knows that there is a rabbit. So
the bird brings it back to you?
They'll catch it, and then they'll still wait there for us to come to him. And then,
so you're hoping it doesn't fly a long ways away.
So do you? I was gonna say, so if the bird catches the rabbit and is staying with it,
Yeah.
and you don't know where it is, can you make a sound and the bird will make a noise back?
Well,
No, but usually you're pretty close to
You are.
wherever it
And
is.
he does have a tracker on them, so on one of their back tail feathers,
Yeah.
we can.
There's
There's
a
like a little tracker
transmitter.
you can put. Otherwise,
Wow.
we have bells on their feet, like
Yeah.
around their
Oh,
ankles,
okay.
Yeah.
and you can hear
He's
the
really
bells.
been doing a lot more telemetry, so they have.
Yeah.
He's had that on his goshawks for years now.
Yeah,
Where it's just got this little thing on the back, and so it's got this long
like a little
telemetry.
antenna.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then he can track them down if he loses
Wow.
them. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
normally
it's
you'll hear,
interesting.
unfortunately, you'll hear the little animal that's like
Oh, you'll
getting
hear
crushed.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
bunnies, they
Yeah.
make a very loud, high pitched sound.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they cry because
Yeah. And you normally see them go
It's a
after
bad
it.
day
Because
for them.
their talons are so strong. Like I don't
Yeah.
remember what he said, how many pounds per
They're
square
crazy
inch.
strong.
It's just like they just
Yeah.
like
Wow.
if you get
Yeah.
grabbed by them, it's a bad
The
day.
red tails are really,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
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 The red
It's a bad
tails
day.
are really very strong and very kind of like a powerhouse of like a bird. And they'll grab it and they will normally kill it right away. Whereas the goshawks are very fast and they're smaller and they have a lot longer like tail feathers and stuff. And they have very strong talons and feet, but they are very much more gentle. So a lot of times they'll catch the animal and they won't kill it
Yeah, right
normally,
away.
and
Okay.
they'll more hold on to it.
So
for
he
you.
can sometimes let him go.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Not
definitely.
always.
Like with the ducks and stuff, like because the goshawks will catch ducks.
Yeah.
And so he can, you can let them go a lot of times with the goshawks because they're so
Okay.
gentle.
But they will actually, when the talon comes down and it grabs on, it gets to a point where it's actually locked.
Yeah, and the bird actually cannot
Really?
like
You
hinge
can't
them, so
unlock
they
it.
like can't relax their foot because
Yeah.
it's so.
So
Wow.
it's like
So that's why if you get it on you, you're kind of like,
bad,
Yeah.
bad
Yeah.
deal.
What's good? Oh, my
Whenever the
gosh.
bird ends up deciding they will let go is when you know.
yeah.
So
Once they relax
Wow.
enough and their body's like, okay.
it can be sketchy.
I thought I was cool because we had a pet pigeon that like would fly to me and I'd catch him in the air.
That is cool.
But that's not a hawk. Like, that's way
They are
cooler.
now, yeah.
That's way cooler than
He's
a pigeon.
taken each of us girls hunting throughout the years, and we've trained our own birds. And
So you have your own?
I used to.
Bethany does now.
We let my bird go. So we trained her as a red tail, and then we let it because they're red tails. They're self-sufficient, so you can let them go.
They can.
Bethany is training one right now, and he did the same thing with Kayla and Shelby.
Do they come back ever, or do they go?
Not once you let them go.
They're,
Because
They're
they kind of
wild.
go wherever, and
Oh,
because
okay.
you've been training them, they haven't really.
They're not like a pet.
But they're not like, because you've been training them and you've taken them in from wherever they are, they really don't have their own defined territory yet. So they don't
Okay.
have a place they've stuck around. So they find that once
Well,
you.
and I think the other part is just to always know they're a wild animal.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
People will say, "Oh, are they like a pet?" And you're like, "No,
No.
not at all. They're not. They're still very much
Yeah.
a wild animal."
But I think we have like 2 goshawks and 1 red tail right now, and then we've had more in the past. But then we have like, I don't know, I'd say total like 10-ish cats. There's a couple outside, a couple inside, 2
Yeah.
dogs.
Yep.
A bunny.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We used to have deer at one point. Not anymore. And then
Scottish red deer we
Yeah.
had those for many years,
Yeah.
but then we ended up getting out of it.
Yeah.
And I think our farm, it used to be a cattle farm, right? Like
Yeah.
before you guys bought it.
Yeah.
So that's why there's so much fence and stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we put up all the fence in the back pasture, but there used to be like the whole yard was fenced in, and that was grazing, for
Yeah.
animals and
Yeah.
stuff. But it used to actually be a 5,000 acre working farm way back when. But
Really?
yeah, but then we bought, and way after that though, they split up the square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so.
I think that's why, like, when we did do the whole, like, selling to the in-laws thing, it was really nice because land is so crazy and
Yeah.
it's in, like, you can't find it anymore.
No.
You know what I
To
mean?
get land adjacent,
Oh, yeah.
directly
I mean,
yeah.
even just to, like,
is-
find acres, but
So-
then find it next to us. It's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
Because we ended up buying from Connie's dad, the rest of that
Oh.
acreage, because we only had 46 acres when we first bought, and then we ended up buying another 60, and that was from Connie and him, Connie's
like,
dad,
from behind.
Harlan Johnson, and then we ended up, then we sold that, it's really Guillermo and Marcella Sanger,
Yeah.
and then, but the plan is for then Shelby and one to purchase and build there, and
Yeah. But yeah, it's
Someday.
yeah.
They were trying to, but like the cost of things were ridiculous lately, so
Yeah.
it was pretty hard to do that at this moment in time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't really ever like when people talk about buying or building. I'm always like, my dad used to say this to me, Cheryl, you'll want to build a new house someday, and I'm like, nope. I like my old crappy house. It's the best thing ever. It's an old farmhouse that was built in like 1878.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And so we've just fixed it up. But I'm like, nope, I like this.
Isn't that our house is like, I don't know, our house is like 200 years old, and then their bathtub is like even older.
Yeah.
Our bathtub's one of those old clawfoot
Those-
ones, actually.
That's
So it's
cast iron. tubs?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's like the old clawfoot, like
Yeah.
it's older than the house.
original.
Like,
Wow.
so funny. And we showered it. I mean, it works.
But you
those
never.
those aren't light either, are they?
Oh no.
No,
Oh, no.
they are not.
It just stays with the house, and that's the end of it.
It will die in that
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The only thing you know though is if you're like, hey, a house has been around for like 150 years, you're like, well, it's been standing there a long time, so it's pretty
Yeah.
solid.
Yep.
It's not going anywhere.
Yep.
You know, it's gotten through a lot of like tornado issues and storms. and-
Yeah.
So
I think the only thing with old houses is like I always think of the wiring of the pipes and stuff, because that's always
Yeah.
something I feel like that needs to constantly be.
Yeah.
but that
Yeah.
that was all updated. You know,
Yeah.
like we put in new windows and new insulation, and
Yeah.
there was new plumbing and heating, and everything has been redone, honestly.
Yeah.
So
Well, and not only that, but it's like you got that and then the land with it, so it's like,
Yeah.
you know, I feel like
yeah, it worked out.
it's hard to find
Yep.
that a lot these days.
We built a house in Nashville, and it was
Oh, yeah.
it was fun, but also
Work.
I got a deal on it too. So because my wife found this builder in this neighborhood, she's like, go check it out. So I went, and I sat down with the guy, and we were talking about it. She took the kids on a walk so I could talk to the guy, and I said, I work for the church. Do you guys have any special deals for people who work nonprofit? It's like, yeah, we have a friends and family deal we can get you, and it'll knock 3% off of your total house cost.
Oh,
Like, okay, when do we start building?
nice.
But I kind of did the math. I was like, yeah, that'll do it.
That'll help.
We can do that.
Yeah.
And then so we go and start going through everything, and like, we're saving this much. Like, all right, we want the jet tub with the marble around it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's throw that in there while we're at it.
That's
So-
funny.
It was fun watching it get built and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah. But I had like things I wanted them to do, like because it was old. I think it was old farmland, and there was like big boulders in the yard. It was like, do not remove those boulders. Like,
Right.
move them wherever you need to, but I want to keep those in the yard. And they did
They
it.
must, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't do what you ask, do they?
No, but they let me go in and wire surround sound in our living room
Oh,
as
sure.
well. So I was like, can I come in and just drill some holes? And
Yeah.
they're like, yeah. They were really
You
happy.
have to.
And then the funny thing is that we never did it.
Oh, shoot.
Like I had it wired, but we moved like 2 years later to here.
Oh, yeah.
That was the end of it. So,
There's always those plans, isn't there? The thoughts for the
we
future,
do
and then
this,
you're
we
like,
do this.
you never
My
got there.
father-in-law had a genius idea, and actually we have it now. But he's like, all right, while you're building the house, have them run a gas line, because I had gas stove and stuff. Run a gas line out to where your grill would be.
Oh, sure.
I was like, oh, yeah.
That's a
And
good idea.
they did, and so we just popped the grill and don't have to go and get the propane tank. And I know, like,
That's
for
nice.
those who are all into grilling and everything, and I'm cheating and not using the charcoal and the wood, and, you know, and that's not really grilling.
Nobody
Well,
cares.
It's fast.
Nobody cares.
I'm not a good enough cook to do it right anyway, so might as well make it quick and fast. Like,
Yeah.
just burn it. Let's eat. Move on with our day.
That's right. Scorch one side, turn it over.
Yeah, yeah. It's always the joke is like once the smoke detector goes off, you know it's done.
Yeah, there you
So-
go. See the blue sign ahead? Now you can turn
Do
up
oh,
there
so
on
that's
the...
Grant? Is that Grant? Graham?
I don't know.
don't
Which
know.
one is this one? Is it Grant?
I think
Yep.
it's the one.
Yeah, it's
It is
Grant
Grant.
Street.
Okay, this
Yeah,
is the way I
see,
came in.
This is one of our parishioners who owns that place, and so he let them St. Francis hang a
Oh,
sign.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
That's nice of him.
yeah. He's a good guy.
Yeah,
He's the one who this last year, couple years, they drive the bus. He's a bus driver too.
Oh,
And he'll
okay.
drive the bus up to camp for us free.
Yeah.
and leave it on site and then come back up and get us. So he cuts our costs big time.
Is he doing that this year?
Well, I have to ask him, but I think he will. Please.
Because that saves some money.
Oh, it saves us a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it ends up being like $500 for us to have a bus to bring us up and back. Otherwise, it's like between $1,200 and $2,000.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
now.
It's
Because
like,
people who are doing different things this summer are telling me like the bus cost is killing
It's
us.
crazy.
Yeah.
So I will.
so you can even
pull.
pull here if you want, but wherever you want. You can actually pull into Father's driveway if you want.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Right next to the
Go for
silver
it.
car, because that's just Juan's car.
Great.
He's in Mexico. We can use his place.
And we'll
Yeah,
just
what
use
the
it for
heck?
a Party.
This is where we have our hanging baskets over every year, you know.
Oh yeah.
In his garage, and we put everything all over the place. We
That's
just take
great.
over and
Well, thank you both
Yeah,
for the
thank
drive,
you.
oh yeah,
And
thank
for-
you.
sharing your wisdom of finding a camp.
Was
and
that
taking the
wisdom
That
on
is
it?
the-
Yeah,
Never
leap of
call it.
faith.
I don't
Like
know
I
if
think
I call
so
it
many
wisdom.
of us need to hear about that and think about, because it's making me think, where can I be taking more of a leap of faith in my own life?
Yeah,
So
it is
yeah,
important, isn't it? You gotta do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Not always sure where, right? You gotta
Right.
keep your eyes open and see
Right.
what's coming your way.
Yep, yep. And then be open to it, and then
That's it.
remember that he's with you along for the ride, not just good luck and we're gonna watch this all unfold
Right,
from afar.
right.
Let me grab some
Right.
popcorn.
Yeah, just watch this happen. Yeah, I
Right.
know.
Absolutely.
I know. So thank you all
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
All right.